That's when I threw the grenade and jumped off the ship.
Oh, David, shut up pre-show, dude. Come on.
Just thought I'd whistle the tune, man. I didn't know they could hear me.
Disney movie. Hope everybody's having a great Thursday. Welcome to Crain and Company. To my left, the Whistler, also former David Cohn. And to my right, former Western State Colorado wide receiver, and my brother, allegedly, Blaine Crain. We got a ton to get to on the show today as we decide who should win the NFL MVP now that the finalists are out, which player for Nick Saban at Alabama was his best, and we answer whether the higher-ups will change the college football playoff calendar after viewership has dropped. Blaine, tell the good, beautiful people, Americans and all, about the poll and chat.
A couple of those things are debatable. Chat, if you hit that like and hit that subscribe button, and if you donate, it's on topic, it will get read. If you donate at all, it will get read at the end of the show. We're going to have multiple polls in here, multiple polls where you get to decide the winner. Pick me. David, is your beautiful whistling before the show. Can you tell me about the Hot Take Hotline? I'm pretty interested.
Of course. The Booster Club can call in and talk to us. Can you believe that? The number's 1-855-236-3228. Those lines open at 3:50 Eastern, 2:50 Central. You get 60 seconds to either give your hottest take or I'm just going to whistle at you.
Please, God, call in. This is Crain and Company, the Thursday edition. Let's lock in. The finalists for this year's NFL MVP are out, and they include Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley, Joe Burrow, and Jared Goff. But if we're being honest, there are really only three guys in the running for this thing, being Lamar, Josh, and Saquon. And most pundits seem to think it's a pretty tough pick. And when you look at the numbers, I can see why, but to me, the answer is easy. It's Josh Allen. And not just because he has the stats or he's on a team that is one win away from the Super Bowl, even though they vote before the playoffs. But when we are assessing value at the highest level, you got to ask yourself one question. Which team would be hurt the most if they lost this player? Obviously, all three are incredibly important, but there is a difference here. If you take Lamar Jackson off the Ravens, it would hurt badly. But you still have Derrick Henry in a defense that ranks top 3 in points per game and yards per game given up. If you take Saquon off the Eagles, it would be detrimental. But you still have an elite offensive line, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and probably the best defense in the league. But if you take Josh Allen off the Bills, it would be catastrophic. He literally carries this team on his back more than any other player in the league right now. The defense is good, but it isn't close to what the Eagles and the Ravens have. The Bills' offense has some nice pieces around Allen, but it's not the fine china that the Ravens and Eagles also have. So if we're picking the most valuable player in the league, and he checks the boxes for the stats and team success, to me, the answer is simple. It's Josh Allen. David Cohn, a lot of talk. Who should win it? Talk about when they vote, and we think they should vote after the Super Bowl. I think it makes the most sense. But in your eyes, when you look at all the finalists, I'll throw all of them out there, even though we know it's really three. Who do you think should win and why?
When I listen to you pitch for Josh Allen there, it reminds me of the age-old debate we always have when it comes to MVPs across all sports. Does it go to the guy who had the best season, or should it go to the guy whose team would be the most hurt? Because I do agree with you. If you take Josh Allen off of the Bills, their record is worse than if you take Saquon Barkley off the Eagles, for instance. That's why I wouldn't be upset at all if Josh Allen wins it. Certainly not if Lamar Jackson wins it. That guy won an MVP last year and somehow got better. That's just incredible. But I'm going to go with Saquon Barkley. And we talk about this all the time when it comes to the Heisman Trophy in college football. Is it just a quarterback award? I understand why the quarterbacks win these awards most often. They have the football in their hands. They dictate how their team is going to go throughout the season. I understand that. But if a running back like Saquon Barkley can't win the most valuable player award in a season that was this historic, in a record-breaking year, then it really does sort of, to me, become a quarterback award. 2,005 rushing rushing yards. All right, that's 8th all-time for Saquon Barkley. And it's not like this was just a volume stat sort of thing with carries. He averaged 5.8 yards per carry while rushing for over 2,000 yards. The 5th guy this century to do something like that. The 255-yard performance he had against the Rams in November, that ranks 9th all-time for single-game rushing yards. I don't think it should be given to a running back just so a quarterback doesn't get it. What I'm saying is when a running back has a year that's this historic, to me, he's the most valuable player.
Well, and I get what you're saying, and I think you could make a logical argument for most of these guys. But to me, when we get to the point where these guys look somewhat even, right? Statistically, they have great numbers. The team did well. Then you can look at, if you take this guy off this team, that's what would be the most impactful. That would be the most valuable. If somebody had just, and Saquon had a great year, but you said it yourself, it's 8th all time. If it was the 1st all time, and I know he didn't play in the last game, and we can talk about that. He's an unselfish guy. I love the way he went about it. But I don't think it was historic enough where it could usurp the other guys and you say this guy has to win it. And to me, that makes the conversation better. Now, another thing you brought up, and I haven't heard a lot of people say this, I don't think we should ever look at a singular season in an MVP race and say, well, this guy won it. Not that you did, but this guy won it 2 times, so let's give it to another guy. I don't think regardless of what happened before, it is this season.
Yep.
It is separate from the other one. So Saquon, you can make a great case. He's absolutely balled in the playoffs. But Blaine, when you look at these guys, who are you taking?
Well, I want you to both know you're this right now. You're both wrong, and hopefully you can read this. I know I'm not the best speller or writer.
You got that one right.
But it's Lamar Jackson. It's Lamar Jackson. This guy is redefining the quarterback position. He really is. I've never seen such a pure runner, and the guy is turning into an elite passer. An elite passer. And I think if you take him off the Ravens would not be that good of a football team. I really don't think they would. And you want to talk about stats? You want to talk about numbers? And look, I know he lost to the Bills and Josh Allen, but one game doesn't define a season. And I think Lamar Jackson, over 4,000 passing yards, almost 1,000 rushing yards, even with Derrick Henry and all these other guys, Lamar Jackson, it's changing the way the quarterback position gets played. And if you're that big of a trendsetter, I think you deserve the MVP. You have the numbers behind you to back it up. His numbers are better than Josh Allen's numbers, and it's really not even that close. So even with the loss with the Bills, what Lamar Jackson is doing as a player at the quarterback position, he's changing everything. So I would give him the MVP.
Well, here's my thing with Lamar. I disagree with a couple things you said. I think if you put an average quarterback in the Ravens, they're still really good. Like, I mean, you have Derrick Henry. You have, and say what you want, I know Mark Andrews didn't play great in the Bills game. He's a great all-time tight end. One of the best tight ends that we've ever seen. Isaiah Likely is turning into one of the best tight ends in the league. And he put up when it came to the playoffs. But I don't think we can ever equate taking Lamar Jackson off the Ravens is somehow equal to taking Josh Allen off the Bills. You take Josh Allen off the Bills, they got nobody really. He does, think about it. The running, I love James Cook. He's a nice piece. Ray Davis, coming out of Kentucky, good player. They don't have Derrick Henry. They don't have that defense. I read the stats the other day. They're not a bad defense, but Josh Allen is literally the best thing the Bills have going for him, and it's not even close. To your point about Lamar, and we talked about this in All Access, the thing that impresses me the most about Lamar, to quote Mike Leach, you can't put accuracy into someone. And it's one thing to fix your mechanics and try and tighten things up, but you have to have the natural God-given talent as a passer to be accurate. And obviously Lamar has that. We look at Jaden Daniels and we're like, man, he can run, he's electric, but he's a natural passer of the ball. So give Lamar credit. He is redefining what a quarterback can do. But when you look at who is more valuable to their team, and the stats, Lamar's are better, but it's not like they're oceans better than what Josh Allen did, and Josh Allen's doing it with less help around him. If Josh Allen doesn't play good, the Bills lose. If Lamar Jackson doesn't play good, the Ravens have six different ways to win.
It just feels like we're blaming Lamar for an organization taking better players.
I don't think so. I've had this
like.
same conversation so many times when it's come to Michael Jordan over the years. If you take Michael Jordan off those 90 years, I'm not talking about the 80s years before Scottie Pippen and those guys, but the 90s years Bulls. If you take him off there, like he did for 2 years when he went to play baseball, the Bulls were still really good. Not win the world championship good, but still really good. Whereas if you take Barkley or someone off his team, right, they would have been worse. But Michael Jordan was still the best player those years. So I'm fine with Michael Jordan being the MVP in those years. There's two other things here that we have to talk about. How do you feel about co-MVPs? We've seen that before. I know Peyton and Steve McNair shared an MVP before. Is that a thing that you guys are ever in favor of, or should it just always go to one guy?
And I'm not a participation trophy guy, if you guys watch this show, but sometimes it just works out that way. Would I be pissed off and think it was some, huge crisis if they did co-MVPs? No, because sometimes it is warranted. Now, you shouldn't do it every year. You shouldn't do it most years. It should be an anomaly. But I think in this situation, if they came out and said, look, you look at the numbers, you look at what's going on, we're going to give co-MVPs to Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, I would actually be fine with it. But it needs to be rare. It needs to be rare. It needs to be an anomaly. It doesn't need to be something that becomes a trend. I just think sometimes...
Well, it is. I think it's happened twice, which, again, it always throws me off when I see two guys' names in those years when I'm looking up these stats. But either way, the second question is, how do you guys feel about the votes taking place before the postseason starts? Obviously, they do that so they don't penalize a guy who had an awesome regular season, but his team didn't make the playoffs. At the same time, we just saw Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen face off against each other. Should that count for something? We're still watching Saquon Barkley rush for over 200 yards in the playoffs. Should the MVP vote take place after the playoffs?
That's my biggest qualm with this. I think they should happen after. I think it should be after the playoffs, after the Super Bowl. I think the Heisman should be after the College Football National Championship. Because you got to look at the whole body of work, right? It's got to be everything. You can't, the regular season, that's great. It's called regular for a reason. The postseason is different. When are you the most valuable to your team? When do your fans want you to play the best?
Yeah.
In the postseason, when guess what? The pressure is at its highest.
How does this I get what you're saying, but I feel like that's going to penalize guys whose team's not that good.
And they might be the most
And Joe Burrow had a hell of a football. He had a hell of a year. A hell of a year. Amount of touchdowns this guy threw this year is absolutely insane. But if it was just basically a postseason, he wouldn't be in this. You wouldn't be having the conversation about Joe Burrow in the MVP award.
Well, I think team success has got to go into the pot somehow. I know it's an individual award, but it's an individual that pushes the team to have success.
And it's not like, look, I'm a big Josh Allen guy. I love Josh Allen. I love the way he plays football. But it's not like he balled in that Ravens game. It's not like I watched that game and was like Josh Allen's.
They lose without him.
For sure, but he threw for 140 yards?
It's snowing on the field. He ran for 2 touchdowns.
I know, but it wasn't like, oh, wow, that was an MVP performance in that game.
Well, I think there's an art in not losing the game either. I thought he managed the game really well. He didn't turn the ball over. Why did the Bills beat the Ravens?
He's a game manager, dude.
Yeah,
this is what it is.
All right, let's get to the chat.
All right, chat, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you donate, it's on topic. It will get read. Let's start off with a $5 donation from the Mafia. He says, Josh Allen is a better player, and he proved that in the playoffs. He's right now the most elite quarterback in the NFL. I think he's also the best passer right now in the NFL. That's a bold statement.
That's a call in on the Hot Take Hotline to give that one. I wouldn't say he's the best passer, but from an all-around standpoint of what you can do on the ground, what you can do through the air, what you can, and your evolution. We talk about Lamar Jackson's evolution, Josh Allen's evolution, not turning the ball over.
Yes.
Everybody thought it was just Brian Daboll. Oh, Brian Daboll came in here and for 1 year, year and a half, 2 years, whatever, Josh Allen was fixed. No, this is the new Josh Allen. So there's been an evolution for him too, but he does the most with the least to me. And if the numbers are even close, I'm going with the guy that does the most with the least. And I think Josh Allen's that guy.
Let's go to 2 Cranes, 1 Brain. What's up, man? Last running back to win MVP was Adrian Peterson. He was 7 yards short of the record in 16 games with Christian Ponder at quarterback. Also broke the record for single-game rushing.
Yeah, I just looked that up. First off, I'll never forgive Christian Ponder for going to Florida State when we came out my year. But, hey, I went to Michigan. It's all good. I just looked that up because I was wanting to know if Derrick Henry won the MVP the year when he rushed for over 2,000 yards, and he did not. And he had even more yards than Saquon did this year.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to D.C. What's up, man? I agree about Burrow, but it's almost like the Heisman. If your team isn't in the playoffs, they unfairly penalize you at the end.
I think a case could be made, though, for a guy who balls in the regular season and doesn't make the playoffs, if your season's good enough,
yeah,
right?
Well, I mean, the guy who won the Heisman didn't make the playoff this year. I'm not in love with that comparison. Yeah. DC, Travis Hunter in Colorado, he beat out a guy that not only made the playoffs, got a bye in the playoffs in Ashton Genty. So that comparison I don't think works, but I see what you're saying. The only way I would be okay with that is if you just missed the playoffs and the year you had was just historic.
Yeah.
Just so historic and everything else around you was so bad that there was just absolutely no way in hell your team would have even sniffed it.
Let's go to Snerdley. It says Favre won 3 in a row, 95 to 97. Packers were not in the Super Bowl in 95. Just 96 and 90.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you have to make the Super Bowl. I'm going to make that clear. But I just think it should be voted on at the end.
Let's go to Welcome to the Show. He says Josh Allen defeated the top seeds in both conferences and beat the Ravens straight up. How is it not his?
I agree with you, man. I agree with you.
Let's go to a $5 donation from the Bird. Appreciate it. Lamar is the best player right now in the NFL. What he's doing at the quarterback position, we've never seen before. I know he's already won a couple, but I think he deserves one more.
And you can make it. I would be, if Lamar Jackson won it, I wouldn't be pissed. But it's fun that it's so tight that we can have legitimate arguments for different guys. And guess what? It's got nothing to do with skin color. I don't care if you're black, blue, green, orange, yellow, or you're in love with your refrigerator. It should be about the play on the field. All the other stuff is gone. All right, let's get to the poll.
All right, poll. Excuse me. Who should win the NFL MVP? Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, or Joey B?
What do you think, Cone?
Well, I'll go with the guy I nominated, Saquon Barkley, 40%.
I'm going to go Josh Allen, 39%.
Joe Burrow coming in at 5%. Then we're going Lamar, 20%. Saquon Barkley, 33%. Josh Allen taking at the top at 41%.
I get it. I love when y'all agree with me. All right, before we get into our next little punter go segment here, I want to tell you something. Talking about picking an MVP, let me tell you who the MVP of the coffee game is. That's our friends over at Black Rifle Coffee. We know from personal experience. What's in my cup right now? That's right, it's a little bit of Power Llama. Get your mind right. Not only do they have light roast, dark roast, everything in between. The espresso is absolutely elite. That's why Cone comes in here and walks a marathon literally before the show because he drinks it every single morning. I don't even know if it affects him anymore. But it's great stuff. But the coolest part about what the people at Black Rifle Coffee do is what they support. All right, because every purchase you make helps them further their mission to support veteran and first responder causes. Everything from getting funding and equipment to first responders to helping our veterans get medical care. So not only is it fantastic coffee, it goes to fantastic causes. It's an American company with American values. Head to blackriflecoffee.com right now and use code DailyWire, all one word, for 20% off America's coffee. That's blackriflecoffee.com. Code Daily Wire. Cone, your favorite blend is what?
I'm on Silencer Smooth right now.
I love the names, too.
Silencer Smooth.
Gunship, Silencer Smooth. What was that, Blackbeard's Delight? Or
I'm a big Headless Horseman guy.
Yeah,
Shout out Ichabod.
Shout out Ichabod.
That's more of a fall. That's more of a fall time.
Don't bring your
pumpkin
seasons
spice
to me.
I love it. All right, Coney, let's get to punt or go.
Punt or go. This is our debate segment. We're going to make a statement, and the other guys have 60 seconds uninterrupted to affirm that statement by going for it, or they can reject it by punting. First one up here, Notre Dame defensive coordinator Al Golden is leaving the Irish to return to the Bengals as their defensive coordinator. Remember, Al Golden came to Notre Dame from the Bengals, but he was the linebackers coach there. So my first statement, this is a 2-for-1 special because I want to hit the Notre Dame side of this, and I want to hit the Cincinnati Bengals side of this, talking about Joe Burrow, the historic year that he had, didn't even make the playoffs with Cincinnati. But let's start with Notre Dame. Notre Dame's defense will fall off substantially without Al Golden. Punt or go?
Oh, I'm punting on this because Marcus Freeman's a defensive guy. I think he's entrenched an identity into that place. Not that Notre Dame's been horrible on defense before this, but I would think there'd be more of a fall-off offensively if Mike Denbrock left and you had to replace the offensive coordinator as opposed to the defensive coordinator. Marcus Freeman's going to have that defense right. You look at some of the young players on that Notre Dame team. Now, who knows with the portal? You look at their offensive line, they got a couple guys in there. But the secondary, they got some young guys that can play. So Al Golden, it is a loss. Will they be as good as they were this year? I would say no, but as far as a drastic or substantial fall off, no way. Al Golden, while he was great, there's some things in the national championship game that we talked about that we weren't really in love with. Hindsight's always 20/20, but I don't see a drastic fall off. I see a little bit of a step back, but Marcus Freeman's going to have that defense ripping, roaring, and ready to go.
The defense led the identity for that team. They led the nations in takeaways and points off takeaways. Notre Dame's defense will fall off substantially without Al Golden.
I'm going for this. I mean, what Al Golden did at Notre Dame was just absolutely remarkable to me. I mean, look, he only gave up 15 points a game. You led the nations in takeaways, 6 touchdowns on defense. And the one thing Al Golden did was, from a technical standpoint and from a development standpoint, you see what he did at Notre Dame. These guys knew exactly what their job was in and out. One of the best man coverage teams in the country. And what they did it well. And if you're going to do that, I know Marcus Freeman is a defensive guy, but at the end of the day, he's a head coach, all right? And you need that guy on defense you can trust, and that was Al Golden. So I do see a fall-off coming with all the athletes and all the talent that they had. And not only from a technical standpoint, from a recruiting standpoint, Al Golden was one of the best walking into a living room. So I can see a fall-off happening here. I don't think they'll be terrible, but they're not going to be even close as good as they were.
So, Jay, who should Notre Dame hire as defensive coordinator to keep from falling off?
You know, there's a couple guys, I hate to do this to Arkansas, but if I'm Marcus Freeman, the first person I'm calling is Travis Williams.
Would he leave to take it?
I don't know if he would. I don't know Travis, super personally. We know of each other. We've spoken before. But, as far as a guy that, is a motivator that could get that defense ready, but as a recruiter as well. Notre Dame recruits itself, but it doesn't hurt to put a little nitrous in the Lambo every now and then. And I think Travis could do that. There's some other young guys out there, but Notre Dame, people want to go coach there. It's not going to be hard for Notre Dame to find a defensive guy to come up there who's worth his salt, because guess what? The guy who just left, it's not like he went across town to another college. He went up to the big boy show, back to the Bengals.
I do want to hit the Bengals side of this. So Al Golden joining the Bengals is the missing piece that Cincinnati needs to win a Super Bowl. Remember, they got there a couple years ago with Joe Burrow, but they lost it to the Rams. Blaine, I'll start with you. Punter, go.
God, I'm going to go for this.
Really?
I'm going to go for this. I think Al Golden. Go look at the Bengals right now. What are they missing? I know their offensive line is not great, but I do think Joe Burrow is one of the best in the pocket when it comes to feel. Their defense was absolutely atrocious this year. Absolutely atrocious this year, and that's the reason they lost. They weren't good. Go back and look, especially later in half of the season, their average was giving up 25 points a game, which is absolutely unacceptable. And you bring a guy in like Al Golden who can fix it, especially in the secondary. And go back to that LSU team with Joe Burrow. That defense wasn't great. All right, and hell, it was okay, if anything. I wouldn't even call them good, but it was good enough. If Al Golden can make the Bengals defense just good enough, even with their Super Bowl run, they weren't phenomenal. They would just pick their times where they would make plays, and I think Al Golden can do that when it comes over from a turnover standpoint. Al Golden is one of the best in the business at getting turnovers, and that the Bengals, if you're not going to be great, be timely on defense, and they could do that with Al Golden.
Super Bowl for the Bengals, Punter, go.
I'm going to punt on this. I mean, if being number 6 in the league in points per game given up and number 8 in the league in yards per game given up is atrocious, I don't want to coach in that league. Now, the Bengals defense, the Bengals.
They give up 25 points a game.
Number 6 in the league.
They're ranked 25th in the NFL.
I got number 6 in points per game.
Let him have his time. Hold on.
No, so, and again, nobody's saying the defense is perfect, right? There's a reason they're making changes. But when I look at the Bengals, Joe Burrow is your jump shooter. Joe Burrow is a guy that puts you where you need to go. You finished 19th in the league in sack percentage. That's not good enough. Joe Burrow can't make it through a season, practically, because every 3 or 4 games they break him because he has no time in the pocket. He's having to invent ways to get the ball to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I don't know how he does it, to be honest with you, with as bad as they've been in the offensive line. So if you're going to fix your franchise and get to a Super Bowl, you brought up they were an offense-led team, right, when Joe Burrow did his thing earlier. The defense wasn't awful, but they weren't great. You need to protect your superstar. You need to stop putting, and they still, you look at the yards per game they got, it's amazing. How are you number 1 in pass yards per game and number 19 in sack percentage? You want to know why? Because Joe Burrow's a beast, that's why.
They did have the sack leader this year.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know where you're getting these numbers from. They gave up 25.5 points a game, ranked them 25th in the NFL. They gave up 348 yards per game, placed them 25th in total defense. Gave up 230 yards passing, ranked them 25th in the league. So, and you gave up 125 yards on the ground.
All right, no, you're right. I looked at the number next to the points per game on offense. They were 6th at 27.8. You're right, they're 25th in the league, but it still stands. And again, I think Al Golden's going to make them better. There's a reason that job opened up. And by the way, the website I use, Team Rankings, does a really good job. The number I looked to the right was different than the one on the left. But when you have a guy that is as elite as Joe Burrow is, that can put up those numbers on offense with a bad offensive line, and you fix that, even if you go from 25th to 15th on defense, that's good enough. You don't need to be a top 3 defense in the league. It's great if you are, but the first thing you need to do is protect Joe Burrow.
All right, next one up here. Blaine put out a tweet yesterday asking who was the greatest player at Alabama to play for Nick Saban. I love that tweet. So let's talk about that for a little bit. And I'm going to say Derrick Henry was Nick Saban's greatest player at Alabama. Punter, go.
I'm going to punt because he had a ton of great players on offense and defense. Like, you can make a logical argument for a lot. But for me, it's Julio Jones. And it's not just because of the ability of Julio Jones. It's when he went to Bama. Julio Jones was the first big coup that Nick Saban got that showed to the whole world Alabama is back.
Remember when he was at Foley there on ESPN? He's the super generational prospect. Alabama hadn't been as sexy with Shula. Saban gets brought in. You bring in Julio Jones, and it all changes. Not only that, listen to Nick Saban talk about Julio Jones, the way he practiced, the leader he was. He even came back after being out of Alabama for 10 years, went to a practice, watched the way some of the guys were doing it. And they're like, that's not how we do it here. Julio Jones set the tone. He was the keystone in the window, the one that if you knocked that one off, it'd have taken longer for him to build it. I think Derrick Henry went to Alabama. Derrick Henry ran because Julio Jones walked. So that's why, to me, Julio is the best and most valuable. Talent-wise, there's a ton of them, but he started it.
Derrick Henry, best player for Saban at Alabama, punt or go?
Go. Walker Camp Award. Doak Walker Award. Maxwell Award. Unanimous first-team All-American. SEC Offensive Player of the Year multiple times. Heisman Trophy Award. What did this guy not win? What did he not win at Alabama? And he was an absolute freak, just like Julio Jones was, but the guy destroyed college players since he stepped in Tuscaloosa. Derrick Henry, from a stats and an award standpoint, is probably the most successful player to be at Alabama. So Derrick Henry is the best guy Nick Saban coached at Alabama, and the stats and the awards show that.
How much do you guys take into account their NFL success?
I don't.
You don't. But when you think, when you think Julio Jones, don't you think of him dominating the NFL even subconsciously?
I think about it, but in the realm of your statement, you said Alabama and Nick Saban.
Yeah.
If it was who had the most successful professional career of any player that Nick Saban had at Alabama, that's a laundry list that we could go through and have logical arguments on each side. But this is specifically about Alabama and Nick Saban. Again, Trent Richardson, amazing career at Alabama. Amazing career. Hell of a player. NFL, not nearly what some of the other guys did. I think, to be honest with you, if we're going to look on defense, I don't think it'd be crazy to argue for Will Anderson Jr. I think he was that good, too.
Well, yeah, I think you could put Pat up there, Pat Surtain, and Minka.
Minka was nice.
Minka.
Hell, Rolando McClain.
Would those be the top
Dante
five?
Hightower. Dude, Dante Hightower was murdering people.
And I mean, the run of quarterbacks they went on.
Yeah.
I mean, Devontae Smith.
Oh, dude.
Won the Heisman. Amari Cooper.
It's an embarrassment.
We'll never see it again.
One thing I find fascinating about Derrick Henry, his junior year, the Heisman year you brought up in 2015 when he rushed for 2,200 yards and 28 touchdowns. After he did that in the NFL, he's the only player to rush for over 2,000 yards in a season in high school, college, and in the NFL. But I just want to compare that to Mark Ingram's Heisman Trophy winning year, who also was a Nick Saban running back who won the Heisman, 1,600 yards and 17 touchdowns, compared to Derrick Henry, 2,200 yards and 28 touchdowns, at a time when it was still sort of running back by committee. Other guys were getting a lot of touches still in those days, right?
Yeah, and it just, to Blaine's point, you'll never see a roster monopolized the way that Nick Saban did it. And the story Nick Saban told about Derrick Henry when he went on, I think, the Pivot podcast or whatever, saying that when he got to Alabama, he didn't know anything about pass protection. And one of the practices, the OC was just absolutely drilling him early in his career. And Saban went over to Derrick Henry and was trying to, love him up a little bit. And Derrick was like, Coach, in high school, he's like, I don't know any of this stuff. They just turned around and handed me the ball and said, go run with it. Y'all got to be a bad plan.
I bet.
No, it's the only plan.
12,000 yards rushing in high school.
Absolutely.
All right, last one here. So the College Football Playoff National Championship ratings are in, and while the championship was the most viewed college football game this season, the overall numbers are down, just like with the semifinals. All right, so 22.1 million people watched the Buckeyes and the Irish this past Monday night. That's down 12% from last year's national championship at 25 million viewers. Blaine, I'll let you take it from here.
Absolutely. And this is a punter go. And Jake, we're going to switch up a little bit. I'm going to start with you.
Good.
On this one. All right. Ratings being down for a college football playoff will be enough for the College Football Playoff Committee to adjust the playoff calendar. Crain, are you punting? Or are you going?
Oh, dude, leave the offense on the field. We're going for this. You want to know why? Because it hit him where it hurts the most, in the pocket. What's that song? The money is the motive, right? ESPN and all these other places. What are they the most pissed about? Not that this team got in or that team got this, that, and the other. It's ratings. That's how they make their money. So if there's any way, whether it's politically, whether it's from a media standpoint, that you can move mountains, that you can move earth, you hit them in the pocketbook. And I'll tell you this, not only do I think it's going to change the calendar, which would be a great thing for college football, I don't think you will ever see a situation where SMU gets in over Alabama again. I think that's another reason. Not that the Southeast not being represented was the only reason why viewership was down, because a lot of people love football in a lot of places, but I think it was one of the main factors in it at the end of the day. So yeah, you hit him in the pocketbook, that'll shake him quicker than ever. It'll shake him quicker than ever. What I'm wondering too is, looking at this now, will this maybe make them decide to not expand the playoff more yet? Maybe they'll actually keep it at 12. So it could be a win-win. We change the calendar and keep the same amount of teams. But I am an optimist.
All right, David, ratings being down for the college football playoff will be enough for the college football committee to adjust the playoff calendar. Are you punting or are you going?
Get the special teams on the field. We're punting this thing. The College Football Playoff Committee is not going to adjust the calendar and do what we college football fans want and desperately need. And you know what? I've never wanted Jake to be right and me to be wrong more than in this moment right here. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope they do adjust the calendar, but it's not going to happen. Since we've had a college football playoff for the last decade, since 2014, the national championship has always been on a Monday night. And this is the byproduct of ESPN owning all of that inventory. It's not like the NFL where Fox has a night and CBS has a night and Amazon's getting involved and they can all promote. ESPN owns it all. They can own Monday night. They're going to keep the calendar where it is. And while the championship numbers were down from last year, they were still higher than some national championship television ratings from years past. So I don't think it's enough for them to see a trend. And honestly, I just don't think you can get a room full of presidents and chancellors to get in there and agree on anything that would make the sport better. But maybe I'm just a pessimist.
And I wonder if their cop-out for not changing it is, well, it was a inauguration day. You know,
they'll have an excuse.
That only happens every 4 years.
But the semis were down too. Everything was down, and I just wanted
Well, NFL playoff viewership is down too, Cone.
Yeah, I mean it's not a trend, but it's enough to your point. I mean it's enough to get their attention. I don't know if it's enough to create action.
God, I hope that.
All right, poll: who won? Punt or go? Blaine, David, or Jake? Congratulations, David, coming in at 46%. Me, 28. Jake coming in at 26% at the end.
It's because I read the wrong number.
Well, you know, I got to start putting the poll up after we get done with it.
Yeah.
Because I'll put the poll up and just people are already vote on it and someone hasn't even said a word.
Look, sometimes you got to change. Something that hasn't changed for us is being sponsored by Good Ranchers, which if you're somebody out there that's tired of the crazy grocery prices, if you're worried about the product you're getting, I'm telling you guys right now, Good Ranchers, whether it's chicken, whether it's steak, whether it's seafood, whether it's bacon. I got the bacon add-on in my box this last time. We had a big Sunday breakfast. It was fantastic. My grandmother, who swears by a certain type of bacon, I had her eat this, and she is now going to start ordering some of the Good Ranchers bacon, try and hook her up with a great deal. And you could get hooked up with a great deal during their New Year New Meat Special. Subscribe to any box. Use our exclusive code BOOSTER, BOOSTER. It helps us, and it gives you $25 off. Free express shipping, and your choice of free ground beef, chicken, or salmon in every order for a year. Let me read that again, because you're just not going to get a better deal than that. All right, when you go to Good Ranchers, okay, and you use our exclusive code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, you get $25 off, free express shipping, and your choice of free ground beef, chicken, or salmon in every order for an entire year. Because of spending more time with the family, spending less money on going out to eat, and enjoying quality, nutritious American food is on your resolution list this year, then be sure to go to GoodRanchers.com. Use that code BOOSTER today for meat that delivers just that. GoodRanchers.com, American meat delivered. All right. Let's you know what? Let's go to the Booster Club for 1 second, then I'm going to get these top players.
All right, let's go to a $5 donation from the Three Peats. Appreciate it, man. It says, who is the most underrated player Nick Saban has ever coached at Bama?
Ooh. One of those great wide receivers.
I'm trying to be honest with you. A guy that doesn't get talked about enough.
I'm going to say it. No, he wasn't there with Saban. I was going to say Pro Throw, but he was there with
No, he was not there with Saban. Well, I think one guy who doesn't get talked about enough, and I mean, shout out to the 251, I think it's A.J. McCarron. I think A.J. McCarron was a hell of a quarterback at Alabama with all the pieces that they have and all the extreme elite talent that surrounded him that he didn't get talked about enough. You want to talk about a guy who could put the ball where he wanted it, a high IQ at quarterback, great arm. I mean, A.J. was that guy, and he's everything he wanted as a quarterback.
I think maybe Ryan Kelly at center, too. God, he was so good. He got everything in order. You talk about a guy, because I always say snapping and stepping and blocking is the most underrated thing in the sport. If you've never done it, it's really hard. You look and you're like, oh, it's just snapping the ball. It's not, if it was just snapping the ball and you were a long snapper, okay. But that ain't what it is. It's snap the ball on time in a good spot to the quarterback and then go block that thing that's in front of you. So
what about a guy like,
going forward.
What about a guy like Josh Jacobs? Or again, is the NFL, is that like coming in and influencing?
He was a dog in college too, but he didn't get the type love that some of the other guys got. I don't think that's crazy.
Let's go to Sty. What's up, man? He says, when it comes to the national championship, move it from Monday night, Friday night if you're going against the NFL, or Saturday night if the schedule is clear, but Monday sucks. You definitely just can't do that again next year.
Or, like we said, Trump, make the Tuesday a national holiday, dog. Make it a national holiday. It helps everybody. Everybody wins, right? Make that Tuesday a national holiday. We had a great conversation on that. If you didn't see it, make sure you go check that out.
All right, let's go to Jay Bake. What's up? He says, TJ Yeldon was another piece, a guy who really doesn't get talked about enough. You want to talk about an elite running back coming in, shout out Daphne, Alabama.
Man, look, I got friends from Daphne, but y'all put me out of the playoffs my senior year because Reggie Hunt went for about 80 yards and a touchdown. So, man, forget Daphne.
All right, let's do the $3 donation from the Mac. Appreciate it, brother. He says, fellas, how would you fix it when it comes to the ratings of the national championship? I know it was the most viewed game this year, but still not enough people, and I still think it's unacceptable.
Yeah, well, that's like being the skinniest person in a fat person contest. I mean, you really that's great, but you're really it's not the best thing at the end of the day. We've talked about it. Move it up.
Finish on January 1st.
Finish on January 1st, man. Like it's move it up. We could, and I know the weather's different. I think the biggest argument a lot of coaches have talking about moving it up is you have to do spring practice at different times in different places, in different regions because of the weather. But as far as like fall camp, move it up. The players would love to shorten summer workouts. You would not hear one player complain about that. Move it up. That'd be the best way to go about it. But speaking about the best, guys, we got some top plays. And there's some doozies. I will go first. Let's go. This is Nebraska basketball. All right, halftime. I love the halftime contest where people can win things. Some of my favorite things to see on social media are people hitting half-court shots or whatever. But this guy for Nebraska, shout out to our Cornhusker fan, full-court putt. All right, you got to make it into a little hole that's kind of standing up, so it's obviously not in the ground, to win a Porsche. Let's play the clip. It's an absolute dot. Go ahead and roll it.
He lines up a putt.
This is to win a Porsche?
To win a Porsche.
For a new Porsche.
Look at this. Look at it run. The people start believing right about now. They start believing. They start believing. For glory! Let's go! What a putt. Oh, yeah.
With the fifth.
I would have Tiger followed it all the way up the court. So you win a Porsche. I had some Nebraska fans, because I tweeted about this on social media. I was like, yeah, but you should see the tax situation.
I was just about to say, you got to pay taxes on that.
Yeah, you end up just buying the.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who had that in mind.
Yeah.
All right, I want to talk about this Texas A&M buzzer beater last night.
Bro.
Ole Miss up at half. Ole Miss up for the entire game until this moment. Again, this is a top 16 matchup here that we had in Oxford. Just please play this.
Ole Miss blew it. Had a -3. The missed run.
This there, A&M down 2. 17 seconds.
16 seconds left.
Kick it out, splash.
For 3 in the lead.
First lead.
Lead of the game for A&M. Padilla.
I thought, and Ole Miss comes down, he's going to kick it to Brakefield, the Duke transfer who's been there for a while. If you're Ole Miss, man, I mean, it's just kind of like South Carolina yesterday who blew it against Florida late. I mean, if you're Ole Miss, how does this happen and you're a defensive team? I understand missing the free throw, and I know it was a contested shot, but Ole Miss had this game in hand in the last minute and a half, and I had you -3. Why? I can understand why Kansas came back and TCU didn't cover. I can get that, all right, even though it was tight. This one, you talk about a huge road win for A&M to get you to 4-2, and now Ole Miss is 4-2 in the conference. Buzz Williams, A&M, they ain't getting left out of the tournament this year. I can promise you that.
How about Florida and South Carolina was also a one-point game.
Yeah, pretty much a buzzer beater.
Covers
there.
everywhere, and I love it. 2-0 yesterday. Shout out Kansas in the comeback. Really needed -6.5. All right, pull up my top play. And if you listen to this show and you know me, I'm all for what? Punishments. I like to see people get punished, especially when it comes to fantasy football. All right, and this guy's punishment was to walk a marathon. That's right, a marathon in his school's dining hall.
How long is a marathon?
A marathon is 26.2 miles.
What?
Or 42.195 kilometers in distance. And he had to do this in his own dining hall. Please run this. Hey, kudos to this guy. He had a great attitude all the way through it.
Yeah, somebody's been watching Saul.
The bib. Wait, someone had a bib.
He's just walking through the dining hall
For
26 miles.
Dude.
all in one day?
All in one day. 26
So
miles.
What's worse? This punishment or the one where the loser has to stay at a McDonald's for 24 hours and eat a certain amount of food, and the more food you eat,
That's a punishment?
No, that's
a
not
punishment?
McDonald's.
It's Waffle House. Yeah.
Right?
No, I've seen it with McDonald's. I think Joe DeLeon, who goes on with Ruffino, did it at a McDonald's. And he had like a spreadsheet that it's like, all right, if you eat 2 hash browns, that's 30 minutes.
See,
off.
in the league I was in, that was the reward.
That was yeah.
So
I want to go to.
you should see what
David thinks a slice of pizza is.
So our year before this punishment, you go to Waffle House. You have 24 hours at Waffle House. And each waffle you eat, the regular size waffles, takes off an hour.
That's what the winner of our league got. So I don't want to walk 26 miles in the dining hall.
At least if you walk, like you feel better, like you at least got a decent workout. If I ate 12 Waffle House waffles, they'd have to roll me out of there. I'm an all-star special guy myself, though. But maybe you need some walking around money. Maybe you just want to go to Waffle House and eat 12 waffles. Well, if you're smart, all right, you're going to invest. Now, personally, I was on the investing sidelines for a while because I thought I needed to be some kind of Wolf of Wall Street genius to get started, reading the market reports and chats and graphs and numbers and all. It was just overwhelming, and I'm not good at it. All right, I'd rather just bet on sports. I'd much rather, be going to the game and doing all that. But that's exactly why we love our friends over at Acorns, because it completely changed how I thought about investing. And today's episode is sponsored by our friends over there. They're a financial wellness app that makes it easy to start saving and investing for your future. And you don't need to be an expert. All right, they will recommend a diversified portfolio that matches you and your money goals. Let them be your Al Golden. All right, let them be your defensive coordinator that can also get offensive in the best way possible. And again, you don't need to be rich. They let you get started with spare money that you got right now, even if all you've got is some spare change. So sign up right now and join the over 13 million all-time customers who've already saved and invested over $22 billion with Acorns. Head to acorns.com/booster or download the Acorns app to get started. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 1 compensation provided. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC. An SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures on acorns.com/booster. Acorns.
Did it in a minute.
Don't be nuts.
Well done.
All right. I'm so excited about this. The phone line's open in 9 minutes. I can't wait to get there. But guys, people loved it so much. David, tell them what we're bringing back today.
Find the fake. This is our trivia segment. We are going to give 2 real stats and 1 fake stat, and the other guys have to tell us which stat is false, which one we just completely made up. And this is a little NFL playoff edition. So 3 rounds each, and we're going to take a player, a team, and a coach that's still in the NFL playoffs. You're going with the Chiefs?
Going with the Chiefs.
Okay, are you starting?
I'll start.
Okay.
My player, the homie, Patrick Mahomes. Let's throw it up. Let's go through these. So, 2 of these are true, and 1 of them is a lie. All right, my first one. In high school, Patrick Mahomes threw a no-hitter with 16 strikeouts and averaged 20 points a game for the basketball team. Number 2, Mahomes is ranked 5th in Chiefs history with 18 career postseason starts. And 3, Mahomes' father threw a perfect game with the Dodgers during his 11-year tenure in Major League Baseball. He played for 6 different teams. Actually hit 256, too, believe it or not, for a pitcher. Not bad.
Golly. I know his dad played baseball. I know he played baseball. Don't know about the basketball, but I'll go with,
2?
What did you write at the top of yours?
What did David sucks?
Wow.
And then 2.
I had 2
That's so
first. He has to change his answer.
We shouldn't have given Blaine a
He has to change his answer.
No, it's fine. Change.
I'm
reveal
going
yours
to change
so
my
soon,
answer. I'm going to change
Blaine.
my answer by Jake's reaction to that. I'm going to change.
Bro, you already did your
I'm going to change
answer.
my answer.
I didn't look at your board.
There's a lot of
second
so
of
we're going
all,
to go.
why'd
we're
you
gonna go
flip
here.
it around
That's
so
We're
quick?
going to go
Blaine
here.
cheated.
Cheated?
All right, 3 is the lie.
Yes!
3 is the lie. Patrick Mahomes'
Yes!
father did not throw a perfect game with the Dodgers. He did average 20 a game in high school. He did
You know
throw the
what? I'm
no-hitter.
mad.
And believe it or not, the reason you picked 2, because that's crazy to kind of believe, that Mahomes is ranked 5th in Chiefs history with 18 career postseason starts. First, Len Dawson.
Well, Lynn Dawson, first off, the picture of him smoking a cigarette in the locker room, I have that picture at my house. Absolute legend. I'm mad at myself right now because I know everybody who's thrown a perfect game. My name's David Cohn, for God's sakes. I know Patrick Mahomes' dad didn't do it. I'm mad at myself. That's on me.
Crane's up 1.
Also, stop complaining over it.
I'm not complaining about anything. What am I complaining about?
Why don't you flip it around at the same time?
Look, 1-0.
Water boy.
Like throwing rock, paper, scissors 30 seconds early.
The kid's up 1-0. That's the only thing I know.
All right, who's your player?
Who's my player? The one and only. Saquon Barkley. All right, y'all ready for this? Well, this is a team. Let me go ahead and get the player one.
Yeah, let's get the Saquon one up there.
Let's go. Let's figure it out.
Come see me after practice.
Saquon. That's Nick Sirianni. Close. There we go.
Hey!
All right. Saquon Barkley rushed for over 150 yards in his first game for his former team, the New York Giants, as a member of the Eagles. Barkley scored a touchdown in his debut game with the Eagles. Our Saquon Barkley has been named the Eagles captain since the first day he joined the team.
I will say... All right.
Bing, 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 bing.
Here's what I got.
2. Show them the lie, Justine. Boom!
Whoa.
It's 3, boys. How you gonna name captain on the first day?
I've seen that before.
I thought they did.
You gotta earn it around here, fellas.
I thought they did.
You gotta earn it around here. Let's go. It's Crane's day
Put in the
today.
chat which one you think. Too.
All right, it's Josh Allen time, boys. Bring up the Josh Allen stats. Here we go. All right, first one up. Josh Allen has a winning record in the postseason. Josh Allen has more interceptions in the postseason than rushing touchdowns, or Josh Allen has 0 games with 100 yards rushing in the postseason.
Okay, this is all postseason.
This is all of them are postseason. Playoff Josh Allen is what we're talking about here.
I'm going 2.
What are you going with?
Going
with 3. It is 2.
Yeah,
that's right. And just like that, like a phoenix
Josh
that
Allen
is rising from the
has
ashes.
7 rushing touchdowns in the postseason, 4 INTs.
Yeah, eat it, Blaine. How you like me now?
Well done, Jay.
All right, thank you, sir. Let me go to my team, the Chiefs. Here's what I got. Number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs' best regular season record was this year, 15-2 in 2024. All right, in the whole franchise history. 2, Emmitt Thomas holds the record for the most interceptions for the Chiefs with 58. And number 3, Patrick Mahomes became the all-time leading passer in yardage for the Chiefs halfway through this season, 2024.
What are you going with over there?
I'm trying to figure out what you just reported.
Yeah, don't worry about what.
Don't try and look
It's
at
1 or 2. It's definitely not 3.
Yeah, you got away with it on the ACT. You're not getting away with it this
the
time.
The Chiefs' best. Number 2 is just the weirdest stat ever to me to throw in this. Emmitt Thomas, I don't feel like you'd make that up.
Good, I got you exactly where I want you. Y'all both going 1.
Wait, hold on.
No, what is this?
No,
what is this?
No. Did I get a chance to change?
No, we said 1.
Absolutely. This is diabolical.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is not the all-time leading passer in yardage halfway through this season.
He's still not the
all-time leading passer in Chiefs history. Nope.
Really. And the Chiefs never had a better record.
This was the best regular season they've ever had. They won 14 games in 2022. They won 14 games in 2020.
Oh boy, got 58 interceptions.
That's all time.
That's still so much.
No, it's a lot.
Goodness gracious,
it's a lot.
Interesting. All right, I got to pick it up here. You got the Eagles? Is that right?
I got the Eagles. Go ahead and pull it up there. Let's go.
All right, it's up there.
That's the Bills. That's Nick Sirianni.
Justine, you're so close.
There we go. Yeah, it's my fault. I know. Said like a woman. All right. The Eagles have appeared in the playoffs in 5 of the last 6 seasons, 2017 to 2023, showcased the consistency as a competitive franchise.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The Eagles have won the NFC Championship game in their last 2 appearances, 2017 and 2022, advancing to the Super Bowl both times. The Eagles have never lost a playoff game at Lincoln Financial Field.
God, this music just makes me think of like an old spy.
This music, though.
Either that or, an X-rated movie.
The Eagles have won the NFC Championship game in their last 2 appearances. Okay. NFC Championship game, yes. Okay. And the Eagles have appeared in the playoffs 5 of the last 6 seasons.
Here's what I'm going with.
That's what I got, too.
We got to wait for the reveal, guys.
All right, show them the line.
We're
Let's go, bud.
We're crushing it.
Let's go, bud. We got that
I
one.
knew that one wasn't good enough.
To see it.
Huh?
Three's is too obvious.
I just knew you chat GPT'd the hell out of the
You're
first
doing
one.
great.
I don't
You're
even
doing
know
great.
ChatGPT.
It's time for some Bills Super Bowl trivia. Bring up
here
the Bills. All right. The Buffalo Bills went to and lost 4 straight Super Bowls from 1990 to 1993. So that's the era we're dealing with right here. First stat. In that 4-year span, all of the Bills' losses were to NFC East teams. 2, all 4 opponents had better records in the regular season than the Bills. And 3, the Bills didn't make the playoffs again after those 4 straight Super Bowl losses for another 9 seasons. Which
Watch
of
your
those
eyes,
stats did I completely make up?
Let's see. Why don't you reveal yours first, Blaine?
I'll tell you guys when to reveal. Reveal.
You can't write all 3.
All right, you can't play games with him.
No.
How was this as a child?
Board game.
How was this?
I'm gonna
We
go.
play Monopoly and then he'd rob us at gunpoint halfway through.
Look,
You're like Michael Scarn.
a winner's a
Boom,
winner.
Agent Michael Scarn.
I'm going 3.
The answer is 3.
I am the smartest man
They
alive.
made the playoffs 2 seasons later. All 4 of their opponents were from the NFC East. They
God,
lost to the
can I hold on
Giants
for the
2019, Redskins 37-24, the Cowboys 52-17, and then the Cowboys again 30-13.
That was a good one, David. That was a
Just
good one.
falling apart.
All right.
Titanic.
So my third is the coach of the Chiefs, Antonius Reed, also known as Andy. All right, the first one. Andy Reid is the only head coach in NFL history to serve as the winningest coach of 2 franchises, the Chiefs and the Eagles. Number 2, when Andy Reid was 13, he won the national punt, pass, and kick competition. And then number 3, Andy Reid's all-time record is 300 and 162. But without Patrick Mahomes, his record is 500, exactly at 130 and 130.
And winningest coach means the most wins or the highest
Most
win
wins
percentage?
in regular season and playoff. Most wins, amount of wins.
Okay. Tell me when.
Win.
Say when. I'm going 3.
No, Blaine went 1. Show him
No,
the
I did
reveal.
not.
It's 3.
I didn't
Yes,
pick
it's 3.
1.
I knew
Yes,
2
it
was
was written
accurate.
on your board.
No,
Yeah,
it's a
you
3.
can't look.
Are you
That's
on
a
crack?
3. It's
This isn't the newspaper era anymore, dog.
I know
the
you
way
can't
it's the way
spell,
the
but
Indians used to
dang.
write.
So
His
Andy
records.
Reid is 300 and 162 overall.
Yeah.
But without Mahomes, he's actually 195 and 130.
Yeah, Donovan McNabb was still really
But I also have this
There he
video
is.
of huge Andy Reid
Yes.
at 13. He looks 40.
How
Play
is
this real
this?
quick. He's 13.
13.
There's
He looks
no
like a
way.
teacher. Go ahead and play it. Look at him. Imagine having to compete against this guy. Looks like he plays guard for the
There's
Rams.
no way that kid is 13.
Oh, he's 13.
Okay, not an impressive.
I mean, he's literally, we all know that guy. There was, I think Cone was that
Look at the
Look at the
kids
kids.
behind him.
That's what I'm
No
saying.
way.
Cone was that size when he was 13. Hell,
And I got to do pump, pass, and kick in the Falcon Stadium in the Georgia Dome.
Yeah, so
must
there
be
we
nice.
go. There we
Yeah,
go.
didn't win the national one.
All right, I have one.
Kick
Throw
the
my
ball.
last one up there,
That's
y'all.
all right. I'm on the Knights of Columbus free throw contest.
That's something.
All right, throw my last one up
But only
there.
Columbus.
Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni.
All right. Keep going.
All right, there it is. All right, Nick Sirianni played wide receiver at Division III Mount Union and Alliance, Ohio, winning national championships in 2000, 2001, and 2002. Before becoming the Eagles head coach, Sirianni served as the offensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts from 2018 to 2020. Nick Sirianni was born in Italy and moved to the United States at age 6.
Man, something smells funky about this one right here.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Tell me when.
Do we get the music? Thank you. There we go.
So, fellas,
Yeah.
pretty groovy in here right now.
God, it's
2.
feeling so dope.
What a cool
Give me
answer.
3.
Show me
it's
the
2.
lie.
I think it's 2.
That boy born to know Italy. He ain't born to know Italy. He's from
got the
America.
American.
He's
got
from
that
damn
Italian
America.
look to him, though.
Oh,
He
man.
sure as heck
All
got that
right.
Italian look to him. Guys, oh, what, Cone? You still got to go.
I got one more here.
You got
this
one
is
more.
the Sean
I'm
McDermott
just laughing,
edition.
y'all.
Here we go. All right. Sean McDermott had 6 straight seasons winning double-digit games. That includes this year. All right. He has a losing record against his former boss, Andy Reid, and he coached 1 year in college. Which one of those stats is completely fake?
Easy. 3.
What do you... No, you stop changing your answer, dude. Stop changing your answer.
2,
is a
fine.
little cheater.
It's 2.
Okay, it is 2.
Yeah, see?
But you know what? It doesn't count because you wanted to change
I
it to
accidentally
3.
hit the board. It's an accident.
He does not have a losing record against Andy Reid. He is 4-4. 4-1 in the regular season, 0-3 in the postseason. His lone year coaching in college is at his alma mater, William and Mary, as a GA.
Yeah, I still love the Lou Holtz joke about William and Mary when he was coaching there and they lost. He said we had too many Marys and not enough Williams.
That's a good
That's an absolute
One for all time.
all-timer. All right, good job, guys. I believe Justine, if we're keeping score back there, I won. That feels pretty good.
Hey, get those call-ins.
3
Yeah.
and 2.
Yeah.
Everyone else got 2. You got 3.
All right, the phone lines are open, 1-855-236-3228. It's first come, first serve around here, but let's get to the chat.
All right, let's go to a $5 donation from AJ in TC. What's up, man? Says, I'm surprised we didn't have a fourth option for Nick Sirianni. Absolute tool.
Everyone would have known that one was true, though.
Let's go to Mach. What's up, Mach? He said, Andy Reid was that big when he was 13. For the love of God, Godzilla's real.
No, yeah, like that's he was really 13. But look, we all grew up with that kid. We all know the dude that was oversized. It was actually my best friend growing up was the one. I mean, he transferred in. I mean, he was like 12 years old, but he was already like 6'2".
His name Jake?
Huh? No, I wasn't. I wasn't that kid. I wish I was. I am 12.
Let's go to a $5 donation from Johnson. Appreciate it, Johnson. He says, Blaine's the kid who played board games when he was young and got pissed and threw the board game when he was done.
I
did not know
incredible. That's so incredibly accurate. We just didn't play board games anymore. We just couldn't because Blaine would find a way. But see, like the thing about Blaine was he'd be like, okay, I'm not going to cheat. And then he'd find a new way to cheat the next game. Like it was literally like watching the Oceans movie, except they just wasn't smart the way he went about it.
So the one with all the women?
So you mean like,
yeah, basically.
Like for instance, if you were just to like have a hot dog eating contest against a guy, and then we're eating, and then all of a sudden he throws one under the chair, and it gets moldy up under there.
Yeah, that actually really happened too.
Doesn't matter what you can say, Dave. It matters what you can prove.
Well, we proved it. We had
it was
video
on
evidence.
Camera.
All right, let's go to a $3 donation from Drew. Appreciate it, Drew. So apparently Blaine can't read, spell, or write. It's really a good thing what Jake and David are doing for this kid.
That's why you got that scholarship.
You're lucky I got thick skin.
Yeah, that's why you got that scholarship to Helen Keller A&M.
Oh, look, you seen the NIL situation over there?
The fighting. Oh!
They don't even know what they got.
That's terrible.
All right, let's go to...
Awful.
All right, let's go to a $3 donation from the P-Man. Appreciate it. He says, hey, guys, just stumbled in here. Love the content. Let me ask you right now, do y'all do this segment every day?
We don't do it every day. We were going to do it on Fridays. But, look, we're about you guys. We're givers, all right? What the audience wants, the audience gets. So if y'all want us to do it, actually throw that poll up there. Throw a poll up there. Should we do Find the Fake every day, multiple times a week, or one day a week?
It's a good poll.
That's a good poll. You need me to say that again?
No.
Can we write it on this board
I can
and
remember
hand it to you?
things.
ELGLESQ.
She really said that.
Let's go to Plexi. He says, is it just me or David Cohn looks like Gary Bartier from Remember the Titans?
Another one?
No.
Another one?
Look, if you're new to the show, David's like one of those, you know how like on social media they put up a picture and they're like, some people will see a gorilla. Some people will see a moose. If you look at David, like from different angles, he looks like different people.
Me.
Like I look at him like Elon Musk. Then he's Gary Bertier. Hell, I mean, you look at him in a certain way, he looks like Willem Dafoe.
I got a dude from Glee for years, back when that show was
You could have
going
done Glee.
on.
Which guy from Glee?
I don't know. I think the one who maybe committed suicide.
David looks...
Finn. I don't know.
God, that took a dark turn.
Look, okay. I'm me. Can I be me?
It's Thursday.
I don't think like you're the generic guy who looks like everyone. That's not a compliment to me.
That is a compliment.
Is it?
It is. They don't say you look like an ugly person.
Elon.
You've never been accused of looking like an... They're not, he looks like that thing from the Goonies.
Let's see how much I really look like Elon Musk. I'm going to go into the bank and ask for
You got a little bit of Elon.
a withdrawal.
Hell, I see a little Barron Trump, too. The height doesn't help on that.
All right. Now you went
I'm
too
sorry.
Far. Now you went too far.
It is what it is.
Why? Because we're the same height?
No, we ain't the same height. I wish we
No,
were the same
Barron.
height. Oh.
They said he's tall.
He is tall. Have you seen him? He's a redwood tree.
Not like, I haven't seen him up close and personal.
It's hard for me to trust people that are that tall that don't speak. It just scares me.
All right, let's go to Ask Me 7. What's up, brother? He says, guys, honest opinion, is Andy Reid loved or hated?
Loved.
Maybe the most loved coach of all time.
I want to find somebody who doesn't like Andy. And if you don't like him just because he beats your team, okay. But like just on a personal level. I mean, look at Andy Reid. Look at him in the commercials. I think the commercials he does are hilarious.
Fantastic.
I just don't know how you could not like Andy Reid. He dressed up as Santa after they won that one game.
He's naming the game-winning Super Bowl plays corn dog.
I know, but Andy Reid, I've just never seen another guy that looks like he should coach at Purdue more. Doesn't he just look?
They'd win.
Yeah, I bet they would, more than they are now.
Let's go to Dana Wools, 7278. He says, hey, guys, a little bit off topic here, but I need your answer. Is it safe to wear Commanders gear at the Philly game this weekend?
Yeah, you don't let your girl wear it. We saw what happened there. Don't let your girl wear it. Just not because I'm saying you're afraid or you couldn't win a fight, but if you're just trying to go there to have a good time, man, don't. They're gonna let you know. But I don't agree with the people like, well, I'll just wear the colors. I won't wear dude, you're giving it away. Are you kidding me? Wear it. Don't let your girl wear it. Don't let her do it. Not smart.
All right, let's go to Paxton. Paxton, what's up? He says, guys, I disagree with you. The amount of Andy Reid wins and Super Bowl wins, he is becoming a hated coach.
Mm. Well, if the only way that you hate Andy Reid is because he's winning, then what a high-class problem. What a high-class problem. Because he seems like a really good guy. I've never heard a player come out and say, God, I hated playing.
He's like, man, wait, I got fired from Philly because I wasn't able to win Super Bowls. And now that I'm winning them every year, everyone hates me. I'll take the second one.
100%.
All right, guys, phone lines are full, so let's get to them. We're going to start with Josh in North Carolina. Josh, you got 60 seconds, man. What is your hot take?
All right, fellas. My hot take is we're looking at the wrong quarterback to end the Chiefs' dynastical three-peat run.
Say it.
It's going to be Jaden Daniels. He's going to end Patrick Mahomes' magical run because nobody can stop that man from running and throwing the football. I don't care. That's what I believe.
Look, I think they're going to beat the Eagles. I just wonder if that were to happen. I think we talked about this yesterday or the day before. How quickly would so many people in the sports media jump off the Patrick Mahomes train? Just to get clicks, they'll come out and say, Patrick Mahomes is done. Jaden Daniels is the new Patrick Mahomes. Could they do it? Possibly. Jaden doesn't turn the ball over. It's not like the Chiefs are the Globetrotters anymore on offense. And they're good on defense. I'm telling you, the Super Bowl, as much as I love what Washington's done, and I do think they're going to beat Philly, the Super Bowl is being played this Sunday. And we're going to live stream it, so make sure you guys check that out. We had 300,000 people watch our last live stream, College Football National Championship. Hell, I think more people watched us and watched the game on the network. But I think the Super Bowl is this Sunday. The Chiefs and the Bills, the winner of that one, lock it and line it up.
There's only one guy. There's only one guy who can save us from a Chiefs Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Josh,
it's not Jaden Daniels.
Say it. It's the MVP.
It's Josh Allen.
Yeah.
That's the only guy. And the past is there. The history is there. The revenge factor is there. People don't forget that overtime game.
I don't change the rules.
I don't forget that overtime. Josh Allen, this is his time now to save the universe from Patrick.
Hey, what are the odds we get another overtime game? I don't think it'd be a bad bet. It may be one of my bets. I bet it's like plus 1,200 or something.
Like that, yeah. Great call, Josh. Let's get another caller on that line. Again, 1-855-236-3228. Let's go to James in Colorado. James, what's your hot take?
Fair winds and following seas, boys. How you doing today?
What's up, bro?
Sir.
I just wanted to say I find myself waking up this morning as a biggest Buffalo Bills fan in America.
Gotta be.
And my hot take is that the Denver Broncos sweep the Kansas City Chiefs next season following Bo Nix. And one final question for David is, are you a great quarterback because you're so tall, or are you so tall because you're a great quarterback?
Oh, God.
The questions I need.
It's a chicken and the egg. I love
questions I need.
I didn't know he was a philosophizer.
I will say, I don't think my father would have pushed me into football the way that he did if he knew that I wasn't going to be as tall as I was. I mean, all the quarterbacks he was watching at that time, when you talk about like Troy Aikman.
When did you know you were going to be that tall?
My dad said the doctor came in even when I was a baby, and the doctor was like, man, he's probably going to measure somewhere between like 6'4", 6'5". So Dad say,
hell, you were taller than that.
Doctor. Yeah, I know. So I don't know. I grew up obsessed with football. I wanted to play no matter what, but in terms of my dad, anytime I would go out and try and catch balls and play wide receiver or something when I'm 8 years old, he'd say, no, go throw the football. You're going to be tall. You're going to play quarterback.
Well, and we were talking about which teams have the best trajectories going forward. Obviously, Bo Nix can do it. He's only going to get better. You saw that in college, too. I mean, he kept developing and kept developing. And under Sean Payton's tutelage, if they just keep putting pieces around him, that defense continues to improve.
the Broncos are going to be back. Now, as far as, winning Super Bowls and all that, I'm not ready to go that far yet, but it seems like the Broncos have positioned themselves going forward as a franchise you have to take seriously now. Yeah, once again, really.
Bo Nix, heck of a rookie year, man. All these rookies we're talking about, man, he really balled. All right, let's get a caller on that line, and let's go to Sasha in Texas. Sasha, what's your hot take?
Hey, Jake, Reed, congratulations on baby Vi. She's adorable. More
hey,
pictures.
you too. Congrats to you too, bro.
Thank you. And I have a way to solve our college football playoff and the calendar problem.
We can't kidnap the commissioner's kid again.
No, we're not kidnapping anybody, but we are going to tell Notre Dame and every other independent, sorry, you have to join a conference, and we're going to take the top 80 FBS schools, and we're going to put them in equal 10-team geographically located conferences. So Stanford's not traveling to Clemson anymore, none of that. So you have 8 equal conferences, and then the Army-Navy game is actually going to get brought up a week, and then the conference championship games are going to be the first entrance to the playoffs. So there's no conference championships don't matter. Your conference championship game is the first step of the playoff, which means we actually have a 16-team playoff, and then from there you go to the quarterfinals, and then you have the New Year's Six and your championship game.
Gotcha. Look, and we've had a lot of people send in formats. I don't hate it. My only question is this. How equal are these conferences going to be if we do it geographically? Like, if we're going to say we're going to try and put, top teams in each one, that's just not going to work out. So you would almost have to have somebody going across the country, which, look, it is borderline mental illness that Stanford and Cal are in the Atlantic Coast Conference, considering they're on the West Coast. So I don't dislike it. I need to see which teams would be in what conference before I say yay or nay.
Well, Notre Dame just joined a conference.
Why? They just made the Natty. What motivation?
It's every year. Just join a conference. You're not special. You're not. Quit trying to make fetch work.
They think they're special.
You're not. Join a conference.
You just made the national championship game. Why would I? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Someone should force them to join a conference. I will start. I will.
You will.
Yeah.
I will start the movement. A revolution right now of Notre Dame has to join a conference or they can no longer play college
One could
football.
even call it a crusade.
Yeah, go on a crusade. Leave now. Come back when your goal's accomplished, and we'll see you later.
Look, if I'm still getting paid, I'll go.
Go on your walk. Like Blaine's gonna show up at the Vatican, putting a note on the door like Martin Luther.
Let's go to Will in New Jersey. Will, what's your hot take?
What's going on, boys?
What's up, Slick Willie?
So last week, if you remember, I called in about the guy at the Eagles-Packers game and said that he was the only person, he created the Eagles chant, and he was the only one who could actually spell it, and the mayor proved me correct.
Yeah, Will, that was unbelievably prophetic.
Wow. He did say that.
I know. It was incredible. Second thing, I just wanted to say I really do hope that the Redskins win. To the Super Chat who asked if they should wear Commanders gear to the Eagles game, absolutely not. You wear your Redskins gear. And the last thing is there has been an abundance of T-shirts around the area that says it's a Philly thing. So my question is, the it that they're talking about, is it the inability to spell or is it some sort of localized venereal disease?
This man hates Philadelphia.
This just feels like Fauci's behind this.
Look, the hot take hotline was built for Will from New Jersey. Like, you know how we're like, hey, look, this quarterback fits this system perfectly. Will fits this segment perfectly. It's 100% a system.
Boy.
I wonder where Philly, I'm talking about both major sports, right? Are all three, the Phillies, the Sixers, and the Eagles. Is Philadelphia the most hated, like from all the other teams? Like, do they just all hate Philadelphia the most? Like, if you polled every other NFL team, Major League Baseball team, and NBA team's fans and said, which other franchise do you hate the most? Do you think Philly would win?
Maybe Boston. You got Patriots, Red Sox, and Celtics.
Yeah.
Well, there's different types of hate.
Same.
Right? There really is. Like, do you hate them because they're just winning a lot? That's why people hate the Chiefs. or you just hate them because of the way they are.
Yeah.
Right? I think people hate Philadelphia just because of the way they are.
I've never been. Reed wants to go. We love history, so we want to do the historical.
Liberty Bell, all that.
Smells kind of bad there, though.
Yeah.
Well,
Does it?
Well,
I mean,
Yeah.
look.
I'm not surprised.
well, Jake,
I mean, if you can't spell Eagles,
leave it cleaner than you found it. All right.
You can't
will.
spell Eagles, I bet you don't shower either.
Yeah.
Those two things just coincide with each other.
Let's go.
Right? If you can't spell Eagles, you're not bathing like you should be bathing.
I don't.
Let's go to Joel in Utah. Joel, what's your hot take, man?
So this is Rocky Mountain Buckeye from the chat. And I'm
Solid.
here to send my Bucks against you, David Cohn.
Good.
Oh, you
Get
caught
him.
me at a bad time, mid-cry. Defend him.
Well, I got three things on my mind. Yesterday, to paraphrase, you said something along the lines of, if I had lost to us 4 times in a row, I'd make the game less important too. From 2006 to 2009, David Cohn, you did lose to the Buckeyes 4 times in a row. Then you
Well, I
brought up
didn't
Josh
play,
Williams
but-
from Toledo and the flag planting. Toledo's a battleground state. We all know there's tons of Team Up North fans up there. That's where the whole Toledo war comes from, where the rivalry started. So more likely than not, this is a troll job. And then I also got to say, I'm tired of hearing Michigan fans talk about, $20 million roster, you bought a natty. You guys dropped $10 million on a high school player.
12.
12. Get it right, Joel.
Yeah,
we spent
12,
12.
Joel.
Hey, before you go though, would
12.
this
Okay,
would
go
this
more.
week's
Go
hold on,
more.
before you go, would this week's national championship Buckeyes team beat 2014 with Urban Meyer?
Oh, heck no. No, not
Yeah,
again.
I agree.
Y'all
with you.
tripping.
All right, so
I
Joel,
agree with
crazy
you.
for saying
I agree
Huh?
with you.
look at the two coaches for God's sakes. You don't think Urban
I'm
Meyer's
taking
going to win
Urban.
that game?
No.
Zeke Elliott would rush for 250.
No.
250.
Ohio State's defense was better on this team.
Please, he rushed for 250 against that Alabama team.
I'm
in
taking
the playoffs.
Urban's team.
Okay, a lot of stuff in there. I mean, he's right about my record, but I didn't play, so technicality, I sent really good signals in. That nothing was
Actually,
wrong.
they said y'all lost your junior year because of your signal.
I thought I was thinking about sending in some wrong signals because nothing was
Maybe
working,
it'll work.
to be honest with you. What was
You
the
can only
next
say
point? The
signals
flag
so many
planting?
times.
Come on, man. Just own that as being soft. I owned it when Michigan didn't go and play Columbus during the COVID year. That was soft to
And
me.
that
I
shit
called Michigan
quarterback
out.
coach.
Thank goodness I wasn't doing this professionally with these guys then, or else I'd never be invited back to Ann Arbor. Own that as soft. The flag planting stuff is a felony. Softest thing I've ever seen in the sport. Just own that. Otherwise, thanks for calling.
I'm scared to say that word. I got in trouble last time I tried to say it.
When you say words,
Flag.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, when you forgot the L.
Hold on, we got Thad on the line in Kansas, and I just want to tell Thad straight up, even before your time starts, I had the Spitzbuben last
Yeah.
night. Incredible. I think I like the strawberry more, but I don't know. I'm going to test it again.
There are
tonight.
few things in life better than some late night Spitzboo.
Spitzbuben on the face, right, Jake?
God,
All over my face.
Thad in
100% of my
Kansas.
face was
one of
covered
my
with
favorite
Spitzboo.
things to do.
Thad, what's your hot
It was
take, brother?
30%, what? 30% of your face, right, Jake?
Well, it's just, beauty's in the eye of the beholder of Spitzbuben.
All right, so hot take. I'm in a kind of a trolling mood. I'm at home sick with both my kids right now, and
Oh man.
I was talking with my 8-month-old. We're talking over some pureed green beans, which are awful, by the way.
That's what they give you in
but,
Guantanamo.
Mel Kiper and SVP are two of the greatest sports analysts in the world. Thoughts?
Well,
That is
the
a hot
first
take.
one I could not disagree with more. I like Scott Van Pelt.
I do too.
I like Scott Van Pelt. Mel Kiper, I mean, come on, dude. You wanted to have people stop running too high safeties. Like, I don't think Mel. And again, I know it's a shtick. Like Mel, it's like a skit that he does. I don't think he really knows what he's talking about. He has Shadur #1, I think, right now over Cam Ward. Boring.
All right, thanks, Thad.
Thanks for. Hey, I'm going to bring
that.
those badges up here too. And he also wrote us a really, really nice letter that I'm going to read to y'all on our personal alone time.
I want you to read it to me.
I'm gonna
with
read it.
music playing.
Can I do it
over
my
me.
Christopher Walken voice?
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Let's go to Kirk in Canada. Kirk, what's your hot take?
I want to hear that Christopher Walken voice first of all, but
it's good. It's a good
He'll
impression.
never stop once he starts.
I believe it. So the bet's at plus 12 there, Blaine, and we still got to figure out what we're.
I thought it was 19.
Whoa, plus 12.
Whoa, Kirk. Whoa,
No,
Kirk.
Kirk, the bet's
No,
already been made. It's on a call. It's plus 19 and a half.
What is it? What's the bet again?
The Leafs are The bet is 19.5, but the Leafs are up 12 right now. That's what I meant to say.
Still got
Explain the bet.
I feel like I have an 8-game spot.
The Leafs are going to beat the Flyers by at least 19.5 points in the regular season.
The saddest thing is we're only 13 games in.
How's Austin Matthews playing?
He's been hurt a lot, but my biggest fear about Matthews is he's going to be playing for Team USA in the upcoming Four Nations face-off.
Yeah, he is.
Quick,
he's going to be healthy for that.
That homegrown.
I wanted to. You guys got the goalies all wrapped up. You got Kate Ottinger, you got Heddlebuck, but we've got Sidney Crosby and.
Well, Sidney Crosby just retired.
Yeah, come on, dude. It's time. It's time.
Or become American.
That's coming.
Yeah.
I wonder how good Greenland's hockey players are.
It's amazing. I won't know if I lost this bet until Kurt calls in again.
I know. You just one of the things
only
you
way I
instantly
know.
You're not watching hockey every night?
Like my wife
I'm not.
told me, don't put the dishes in the sink, put them in the dishwasher.
I literally posted a hockey
right after she says it, I forget it.
I literally posted a hockey fight on X. It said elite fight. Didn't even watch the video.
Yeah, I watched that fight thinking it was going to be elite because I trust you, but turns out you're a bigger liar than that, and you are in our.
I didn't even watch the video. It looked like a great fight, though.
It wasn't a great fight.
Incredible. Truly incredible. It's the most Blaine Crain thing ever. All right, let's get a caller on that line. In the meantime, got a couple callers from Louisiana. Let's start with Zach. What's going on, man? What's your hot take?
What up, guys? I ain't called in a little bit. First off, I just want to big up all three of y'all right quick. Jake, shout out to having the baby.
Yeah.
I got two. Under 3 at 28, man. It gets straight to about 3 when they think they're 18.
Yeah, God, I'm
dealing with that.
Man, forget the haters. I like your. I don't give a F attitude, man. I'm right there with you. And Dave,
he's a real rebel.
I just started a Twitter account for my sports podcast network page from the Sandbox Sports, and I listened to your song on there. I'm a new country guy, and I really enjoyed your song. But
thank you, brother.
My take. And I'm going to hang up real quick so y'all don't grill me. My take is that if it wasn't for Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes turns into Sam Darnold. I think he's the most overrated player to be mentioned in the GOAT category.
That's a hot take, Zach. That's why we got the hotline. All right, so I want to pose this question for the chat in the comments. Who needs the other more? Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes? Or Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid? I'll always fall on the side of the player.
Yeah.
Because if the player's good, you can make the coach look really good. If the coach is really good and the player's not good, the coach ain't going to look good.
All right, let's just get fundamental about this real quick. Andy Reid had some good years in Philadelphia. Had Donovan McNabb. Donovan McNabb balled for him.
Baller.
Never won a Super Bowl, though.
Nope.
Got there, didn't win a Super Bowl. He gets Patrick Mahomes. Now they're winning it every year. He's won 3 of them. No one can beat him in the AFC. I mean, I think that's just a perfect symbiotic relationship. It's like Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson.
Milk and cookies.
Right? They both have benefited. I don't think Patrick Mahomes would have as many Super Bowls as he does if Andy Reid weren't the coach. I think he's great enough that he would have gotten one no matter where he got drafted to, though. Same with Michael Jordan. I think the same thing with Tom Brady. There's no way he has 7 if he doesn't get drafted by Bill Belichick in those early years when the Patriots were defensive-led. But he's so great. His greatness is so undeniable, he would have gotten a Super Bowl and probably several.
Quick question. If Tom Brady's playing for Andy Reid, does he win the same amount of Super Bowls? If Patrick Mahomes is playing for Bill Belichick, does he win the same amount of Super Bowls?
They both have a ton.
Okay.
I would say this. The Eagles' defense when Andy Reid was there was not good.
Nope. Not what they are now.
And what they have at the Chiefs is a lot different to what you have at the
good point.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Logan in Louisiana. Logan, what's your hot take?
What's up, Logan?
What's up, fellas? Hey, I'm not ready to let college football go yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump into next season. So,
do it.
Hot take, LSU going to the playoffs next year. I'm going to say 10-2, and we're going to have one of the most electric atmospheres in Death Valley in the first round of the playoffs as a home game.
That would be, God, is it going to be snowing?
That'd be
the real
cool.
question.
I just love looking.
I
love
man, I think a lot of people are forgetting about Garrett Nussmeier coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I also didn't know that Trey'Dez Green plays basketball for LSU too. That freak show they got running around at tight end is an absolute stud. It's just defense, man. Like, can Blake get it right? I think y'all are going to be fine on offense with Garrett coming back, the pieces y'all have. The offensive line, what y'all done in the portals obviously helped out a lot. It's just defensively, can Blake Baker get it right? And I think Blake can.
Got the schedule right here if y'all want it. All right, what an opening game. You're at Clemson.
Tough.
At Clemson.
Two great quarterbacks.
Louisiana,
they're at Clemson?
Either they're at Clemson or it's neutral.
Okay.
Well, Texas is going to Ohio State.
I'd have to look.
That's
you have Louisiana Tech at home.
Dub.
You got Florida at home.
Okay.
You got Southeast Louisiana, the Mud Dogs, at home. Yeah. You go on the road at Ole Miss. South Carolina at home.
Okay.
On the road at Vanderbilt. Sneaky game. Texas A&M at home. You go to Tuscaloosa. Arkansas at home. You face the Hilltoppers in Western Kentucky. And you finish the year at Oklahoma.
I also have the latest Heisman odds. Quarterback Garrett Nussmeier is at the top, plus
He's at the top?
900, just edging out Arch at plus 950.
Okay. The amount of people. Is Julian Sayin on there? I'm telling you right now, Julian Sayin.
No, but Jeremiah Smith is at plus 1,700.
Yeah, you want to know, that's one of the reasons why Julian Sayin is going to be better than Arch Manning, because he has that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I look, LSU, I think it's, again, we got to see how the transfer portal shakes out, who gets hurt, this, that, and the other, but the hype's going to be there for LSU again. Can Brian Kelly come through? And is Brian Kelly extra pissed because Notre Dame made the Natty? Very interesting. Interesting narrative there.
Let's see. That's it for callers today, boys.
Thank y'all.
Hey, good job on the calls today. Let me get over to the bet board. Yesterday was an absolute tragedy on the show.
Yesterday.
Hit a personal parlay to win $750. Pretty excited about that.
You won $750 last night?
Yeah, man. And it wasn't even, so I'll make a couple parlays a night, like some $10 ones. But like my first one didn't hit that I made, but then I made a live one. I've hit a couple live bet parlays in college basketball. I mean, I called Blaine last night. I mean, I was so excited. I went to Wendy's at midnight. And
Did you really?
Yeah, and Reed ate a burger. Still can't believe it.
Yeah, he called me at midnight. I was freaking out.
Yeah, Blaine thought something was wrong.
It's like, is everything okay? And I was like,
That's great.
Hit a big bet. Congratulations.
Great. All right, last night, Ole Miss. How we not hang on, win by 3? Game was over. Not only did you do that, you lost. Again, TCU, okay, I get it. I can understand. Come off a win at Baylor. It's a tight game against Kansas late. You don't cover the plus 6.5. But we've been hot, and guess what? We're moving on. But we're staying in college hoops. Tonight, Memphis, Wichita State. How they're the Shockers and not the Witches absolutely blows my mind. But I love the over at 156. It's going off at minus 112. I think Haggerty scores a lot of points tonight. Then, Illinois at home against Maryland. I'm going to take the Illinois team total points over 82.5. They got it's a NATO meeting basically for Illinois. They got like a Lithuanian, a Serbian. It sounds like the start of a joke. But all right, Coney, what do you got?
All right, boys, 2-0 last night. Let's build off of that. I'm going to go with the Australian Open semifinals. Djokovic taking on number 2 seed Zverev. I'm going to go with Djokovic over 21.5 games won, partly because I think he's going to win a lot of games, partly because I think this will go more than 3 sets. The odds on that are minus 115. And then the other semifinal, Ben Shelton taking off number 1 seed Sinner. I'm going to say Ben Shelton wins at least 1 set. That's a dog bet at plus 110. Do I love it? No. Is it risky? Yes, but I'm going to take it.
Ben Shelton is the young kid, right? Lefty.
Yeah. Well, they're all those guys except for Djokovic are.
And let's want to make sure I'm right on this. There's 6 games in a set, and you have to win by 2.
Well, you have to get to 6 wins to win the set. It can go to 7, though, if you force a tiebreak.
And you have to win by 2, though, right?
Yes, but you can win a set 7-6 if you won the tiebreak by 2.
By 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so the scores get really weird and complicated. But again, that's him to win a set and then the games for Djokovic at 21.
All right, I love it. Pull my bets up 2-0 yesterday. Let's go. Let's start. Let's get the ball rolling in college basketball. I'm going to hit a lot and make a lot of money during this year. Give me Illinois minus 7.5, going off at minus 105, and Bryant minus 15.5, going off at minus 110.
That's a big spread for one guy. All right, what does Ace got? He's going Georgia Southern, Statesboro boy, son of the Whistler, minus 6.5 tonight, going off at minus 110. Then he's going to ride with Illinois. He's got him at minus 110. I would clock that thing down to minus 105, get that little extra juice on it that Blaine had, because he looks at those lines they're giving out in like Croatia or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get these donations. If you donated today, thank you so much. We really appreciate it on this side. Let's go to a $5 donation from Jimmy Speaks. Appreciate it, Jimmy. It says, guys, who's y'all's Heisman favorite walking into next year?
Well, we kind of talked about that with Nuss. You know, looking around the country, I think Julian Sayin's a sneaky good bet, especially from what I'm hearing about him. Everybody's going to be pouring money on Arch Manning. But I'm going to give you one that maybe not a lot of people have as a Heisman winner.
but I think he has a chance to be really, really, really special. Give me DJ Lagway from Florida.
Ooh, wow, that rolls us.
I like that pick, actually. That's an outside-the-box pick. I do like Jeremiah Smith at plus 1,700. I did lie to you, though. Julian Sand is on this list at plus 1,800, just ahead of Dante Moore and Lenoris Sellers.
Gotcha. Lenoris, another one to keep an eye on.
That brings us right into our next donation, a $5 donation from the Gator guy. He says, fellas, do we see 9 wins in Florida's season next year?
Can you pull up their schedule?
Already got it pulled up. All right, you start off with Long Island.
Yeah,
that was a team. All right, you got them at home, then South Florida at home.
Okay.
You're at LSU.
2-1.
You're at Miami.
3-1.
Texas at home. You're at Texas A&M. Mississippi State at home. Georgia at home. At Kentucky. At Ole Miss. Tennessee at home. And obviously, you finish the season versus Florida State, and that game is at home.
He asked for 9?
They asked for 9.
I could see 9.
9's tough, man.
I could see 9 there.
Also, Georgia will be neutral site.
Yeah. I could see 9 there. I think Florida's going to have a good year. I think Billy flipped the script.
All right, let's go to a $5 donation from Brian. Appreciate it, Brian. He says, guys, I don't know if y'all saw this, but Jaden Daniels' mother said he's not allowed to date girls to a certain extent because she doesn't want them ruining his career.
Yeah, she said some girls out there trying to get his hooks in him. She just knows it, but it's not going to happen. Now, that doesn't mean you lock out love, you know? Maybe you run into somebody at the grocery store. Oh, you want a cucumber? Oh, maybe you want some oranges, you know, and just let it happen then. But, you know, if it's like some fan that snuck into the team hotel, we ain't trying to do that. Let's go out, you know, meet somebody at, you know, take her out to eat, you know, maybe, you know, go to Ruby Tuesdays or something like that. Maybe go to Jacksonville. When you're in Jacksonville, go to Chili's.
Can we create a stop motion animation of Jaden Daniels meeting a girl at the grocery store and they're looking at cucumbers and oranges and then he takes her on a date and then they have a bunch of babies?
That would be great. Just don't hold the cucumber and oranges together because you might think you're a pervert.
Yeah. Snow Bunny incoming. $5 donation from 2 Cranes, 1 Cone. So speaking of bets, Jake still owes me merch from week 1. Andy Reid needed Mahomes for the championship, fellas. We all know it.
All right, I'm going to send you a hat. Send me your address on social. I'll send you one of these new hats. It's a good time to promo the hat. Check that bad boy out right there. Go to dailywire.com.
Let's go to a $10 donation from that guy. He says, Jaden Daniels made VR training a condition for any team drafting him. Now he's most likely the NFL Rookie of the Year. Is that his edge, training his brain at 1.75x speed?
Well, it's helped. Now, guess what? Everybody's going to
That's going to be the standard. Remember the quarterback sim video that I worked on years ago?
We were on the cutting edge.
Oh, that was at the College Football Hall of Fame, remember?
We were on the cutting edge.
Everyone's going to have it. Think of all the extra reps you can get without a chance of you getting injured and having to run another 10 guys.
For sure, and it's just seeing it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you don't even have to throw. Just see it. Just look.
$5 donation from Heath says, hey, guys, love the show, but hate Nick Sirianni. Y'all have a good day.
Dude, does Nick's permission to make a comparison?
Denied.
Well, I'm going to do it anyway. Is Nick Sirianni the Ryan Day of the NFL?
Yeah.
Think about it. Everybody hates the guy just because something's off. Something's off. Like the look he has on the sideline sometimes, I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way. I don't think he dyes his beard, which I think is Ryan's biggest problem. But he wins a lot, yet they still hate him. It's amazing.
So are you saying that they're going to win the Super Bowl now?
No.
Follow the Ryan Day course?
Watch, they won't get to the Super Bowl, and they'll come after Nick Sirianni with pitchforks and torches until he spells Eagles and then becomes the mayor.
Let's go to $3 donation from Dale. What's up, Dale? Appreciate it. Says, so the people in GA can't participate in sports book betting. That is such BS. Can you get with a sports book and get your VPN thing going?
Look, you can Owen Wilson it all you want. Here's the part that I would write to my congressman if I was in Georgia. If you can sit down and look me in the eyes and explain to me how we can have a lottery but not sports betting and how that makes any sense at all, then I won't be upset about it anymore. But you can't, because it doesn't, and it's stupid. And this is America. When I'm president in 2036, sports betting is legal all across the country, and we're going to tax it. We're going to tariff other countries that sports bet, right, too, to bring some extra money in here. I got it all planned out.
I like it.
You know what I call it? The annexation of the world.
Of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Gambling's tough and it's not easy, but seriously, if you have an addiction, guys, don't worry. We're going to win your money back.
You take Bryant,
Minus 15 tonight. Everything
That's
you own.
one of the funniest things you said. Obviously, if you have a problem, you need to get a handle. But that is one of the funniest things that Blaine has ever said on any of our shows, because the first time he ever said it, he said it so serious. Do you remember that? He was like, look, guys, honestly, if you have a gambling problem, don't worry, we're winning it all back. Which is like the worst thing you could do.
All right, let's go to $2 donation from War Champ. Appreciate it, man. Left side.
That's what I said.
Wrong side.
Nobody said strong side when they said, oh boy, look like Gary Bertier.
Sorry.
And I put that on you.
Sorry,
I put that on
you.
myself. I should have picked that up.
Attitude reflect leadership.
$5 donation from WTH. Appreciate it. Insane stat from yesterday. There were 3 SEC basketball games. The 3 teams that won led for a combined 46.
I saw that.
Yeah, it was
wild.
That was absolutely wild.
$2 donation from Serb. Appreciate it, Serb. Ohio State fans got some good whistling. Congratulations. David's a new whistler.
Whistle while you twerk.
Yeah.
$2 donation from Dave. Appreciate it, Dave. Nussmeier, Heisman favorite.
Hate.
I felt that.
Let's go to a $5 donation from the Tiger. Jake, on a serious note, can we win 8 games next year?
Auburn?
Who do you think? You pull up the schedule.
Here's they can. I think, they're going to need to. Hugh's going to need to. But here's the problem. If I say they're going to, they won't. If I say they won't, they will. And it's just for Auburn. Everything else, try and call it. So I'm going to say no.
All right, you want the schedule?
No.
You want the schedule.
I don't. All
right, at Baylor, Ball State, South Alabama at home, at Oklahoma, at Texas A&M, Georgia at home, Missouri at home, at Arkansas, Kentucky at home, on the road at Vanderbilt, Mercer at home, then Alabama to finish the year.
No comment.
All right, that's all the donations for today. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, David, you have 1 minute to read the sports news to the good people of the Booster Club and beyond. So we got the clock up there and ready, the official clock, not whatever he's going to do over here. We good to go, Justine?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. I thought you were going to throw the Nick Sirianni graphic up there. All right, David, you got to read the sports headlines in 1 minute. You ready?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Right now, you ready?
I'm ready.
Good in a minute.
Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford still hasn't made a decision on whether or not he will retire from the NFL. Head coach Sean McVay stated he's hoping for clarity sooner rather than later. The Jaguars and general manager Trent Baalke have parted ways, the team announced Wednesday, just hours after the head coaching candidate Liam Cohen decided to return to the Tampa Bay Bucs as their OC. Jaguars owner Shad Khan said in a statement following several discussions with Trent this week, we have both arrived at the conclusion that it is in our mutual best interest to respectfully separate effective immediately. To tennis, Madison Keys won a 3-set thriller in the Australian Open against number 2 seed Iga Swiatek. The American will now advance to the Grand Slam final to face number 1 seed Ariana Sabalenka of Belarus. The Miami Heat have once again suspended star Jimmy Butler for 2 games this time for missing the team's flight to Milwaukee. Butler had just returned Friday from a 7-game suspension for conduct detrimental to the team.
All right, got it in with 3 seconds to spare, Coney. Great job. Proud of you. All right, let's get to the chat. Let's wrap this puppy up.
All right, let's go ahead and get to this poll. We're already at 3:31. How many times should we do this segment? And that was we're doing the trivia segment once a day, once a week, or every second of the day.
You totally butchered what I told you to write, but that's okay. I'm going to say they said once a day, 53%.
52%.
Once a day, 46%. Once a week, 54%.
Wow, all right.
All right. Okay.
Appreciate it, chat.
It does keep the
good vibes.
Kind of the want.
Yeah.
Build the anticipation. I like it. All right, speaking about anticipation, don't forget we got that live stream Sunday, the AFC and NFC Championship. Make sure you're locked in for that. It'll be here on the channel. Really, really easy. Go buy one of those cool hats from Crain & Company. We appreciate you guys. We're live tomorrow, and it is a Flaming Dragon Friday. I'm going to go home and watch these games and hold this beautiful baby. And like the chances of me not hitting a parlay tonight, going, may I jinx myself. Gone. Now I'm pissed.